red brick past is coming to fruition, and we're getting to understand that a group of people hid all this from us and have not divulged that all the Capitol buildings in America were already here. I just took you for a little ride right there, just here in Oakland County, of the red brick past, and the beautiful red brick buildings were everywhere, and all the red brick stuff they're destroying that's abandoned. Here's a home in Pontiac, Michigan, Casa del Rey Apartments, building of the past. Okay. Now, then we go here to why is Hawaii tearing down the stairway to heaven? Okay. Um, we know this is the case because they're destroying the red brick past because they don't want to no more people climbing up there to look, because when they do climb up there and look, they're going to see stuff like this. They're going to see this debris all on here. See, they try to use stuff to convolute the past and tell you eruptions and all this other stuff when that was man-made, covering up stuff. Okay, that's where your funditures go for covering up the red brick past. Looky here, this is not caused by tectonic plate. This was caused by man covering up the red brick past with lies, false narratives of history. A meltdown occurred and caused this, folks. And your lava fields are pockets of survival of the meltdown. It wasn't that long ago. And then man goes in there and reignites areas with chemicals and explosions and so forth, and give you illusions of volcanoes and all this other goobly gob stuff. Okay? And by doing that, they reroute some stuff that's still cool, and it causes other problems and so forth. You have different narratives. But anyway, so we take a look right there. Even we'll scan around a little bit more. Okay? And looky here. And you just see the meltification that occurred. And you see, how did this all get like this, folks? How they're going to tell you, from volcanic eruptions and so forth. No, from a meltdown. Thereafter, yeah, we have these surge pockets of the remaining things that occurred after the meltdown. And there again, you see more striations of not lava fields and so forth. This is man-made, and there it is. Just more evidence. Conclusive evidence, unlike John Levy with this inconclusive, unconclusive stuff. We have conclusive evidence, not only of what I just showed you in Hawaii, but also the database of different people who, like, there's this one family, I think in New York, they were allocated land in 1635 and was given it for forever to have that land, and they still own that land today. So they're in the know. They're in the know of what we talk about. In that area, you see weird names of things like the killing fields and so forth like that, and that's exactly what they did. And those names help point more to the truth. And they give you these on Lone Pine Road, Cranbrook Institute, right? They'll give you a date. It was purchased in 1904, okay, and so forth, and they ain't giving you a narrative when this was built, okay. They just fix stuff up, added on to it, and so forth, but they don't tell you the truth of the matter, okay. So, and we at the Red Brick community are trying to tell you the truth, okay. So anyway, all the red brick buildings here in America were like the Capitals, for example, and the ones that I showed you here were already here. They just fixed them up, folks. So we're here on Google Earth, and we get out of photosphere for a minute, and that's Hawaii, just showing you some, and you can travel all over it, and you see the song remains the same. Okay, now where are we going to go? We're going to get out of photosphere right here. Okay, there's your summit building. Okay, now look as I pan away. Now watch as I pan away, panning away. And you see the dendrite lines that I'm always talking about, because electricity follows the least resistant path. Okay, now we know that there's telluric fields, telluric lines, uh, and trees are much similar to lightning. You know, the roots find the least resistant path, likewise to water. Okay, now they reach out in the sky too to find those energy fields. Those positive and negative ions come down, and the tree's designed to harness those, photosynthesize is energy and food from the sun and the electricity, the life source of that tree as well, buried deep within the ground with its least resistant path to water and electricity, positive and negative charged ions. So, dendrites everywhere. Now, my thought is there's a book taken out of the Bible, uh, the book of Enoch, and they'll give you a narrative in that book. There was giants and huge trees, and they terraformed this earth and cut the trees down. So, on many of these spots, people say, oh, that was a tree. Well, perhaps we're all right here. Perhaps the trees were cut down and buildings built upon these huge trees, see? And then you had your feelers already down in regard to your energy fields, your ley lines, if you will. So they understood the telluric fields that we live on, and the trees, and the harmony and the understanding that the trees had about our energy fields everywhere. So upon those, they began building and tearing down these trees and so forth. So that's why I think some people are confused that, oh, this was a tree. No, those are buildings, perhaps built on trees. And the more I investigate by looking at telluric lines everywhere, um, you know, the more that I'm saying, yeah, this is a greater possibility that the Catholic Church and their jargon, a lie of just about everything, including the Bible, is behind hiding all this stuff from us. And they don't want us to know because they're in cahoots with the energy vampires in the world that meter you. So we're going to tell you that all of this is building, and there's more of it underneath. And you see lines going everywhere, and you go, what's that about? Okay, that's more of our past. And probably underneath here you probably see, you know, chunks of star fort, you know what I mean, and so forth. And we have star forts everywhere, you know, like we come over here more and we see more chains of tops of buildings everywhere. All this, all of it, folks, not some of it. So, and look where it leads, you know, look where it leads, right here. So you could transverse all over this realm. Everything was connected, and then a great meltdown occurred, see? So that's what they give us this globe model here, and it's flat. So we have to deal with that, and we use it, and it's been proven to be a good instrument to prove many things in regard to east, west, north, and south. In regard to many scriptures that talk about in the Bible, you use the globe model, and it don't set you down where they want you to be, but you use a flat earth model, and sure enough, you end up where you're supposed to be in regard to those scriptural passages. So that's another thing that they helped us to prove and procure more truth by their globe model and their narrative lie with their CGI imagery. All that money we spend in NASA, and they can't do something better than that. See? Anyway, just a quick little video to say that those trees were here. We have what, the big mega trees left on Earth, about 80,000 of them, okay? And I believe there was bigger trees yet than that. And We need to save those and understand those more today. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. And that's it. I got things to do today. Have a beautiful day.